Hey guys, so welcome back to the channel here, and today I'm actually very excited to announce that I'm going to be starting a new series in which I try to take a small account starting at around $50 and trade it all the way up to hopefully 1,000 in a few weeks or months time here. So my short-term goal is to get to around 300 to 400, which would be multiplying the account by hundreds of percents. However, in the long run, if you guys stick with me, I'm hoping to take this account all the way to $1,000 here if we are lucky and if our technical analysis does hold up over the long run. So today I'm just going to start off by showing you the first play that I made. Now, the market has been extremely red over the last few days. However, you can see that I am able to make over 12% today, and that's honestly an extremely good return. If my account was worth $1,000 and I made a 12% return, we would be looking at around $120. So this is pretty substantial here. Even though the account is such a small size, I don't want you guys to focus on the amount of dollars return that we actually make in the short run, but instead try to focus on the percentage return, because that's what's going to be reflecting how successful we actually are in the short or long run here. Now, I did clear all the other trades that I had on this account, all the other stock positions, and like I said, I kept around $50 in when I was selecting my first play, which I will be showing you guys here shortly. Now, a lot of the reason why I decided to start this challenge is actually because my other videos focus on long-term gains, a lot of how I'm watching for buying and selling regions in the long run on a daily or hourly chart to kind of focus on those kind of technical analyses. However, I want to show you guys also how I trade on the short run and how I trade on a daily basis here, and these are actually my biggest returns. And not only how I trade on a daily basis, but my mentality of what I'm looking for as a trader and how differently I have to think when I'm trading on a short-term basis versus when I'm buying a position to hold for maybe a longer term swing like I was talking about in the past. So today we're going to be taking a look at the first trade that I actually made here. Like I said, I'm up 12% just today. I'm very happy. You can see that my account was down about $3 or $4 here, which would be 5%. And what I'm going to be trying to do here is if a play goes down more than 10%, I'm going to cut my losses regardless if I think it's going to come back or regardless what I think is going to happen of the play. I'm hoping to only have 10% losses as my most loss with any position. And that's going to be my first lesson that I kind of want you guys to understand here, to kind of start seeing how my mentality is as a short-term trader here, and especially as a daily swing trader instead of a weekly or monthly swing, as how my other videos kind of reflect. So one of the main plays that I made today, like I said, I was watching Twitter. And one of the main reasons why I like Twitter is they're a stock that has a lot of volatility. They can run randomly or even as a result of a catalyst very, very often and very, very strongly. And you can see that there have been lots of times in the past where we could have potentially profited from a swing trade here, a short-term swing trade on Twitter. So that's why I was watching them after these two very, very strong trading days. They opened up higher today at around $43. And I was hoping to catch a break to the upside today as I was watching their account. Now, you can see that I've set up my trading view with a lot of smaller cap stocks here: Blink Charging, NIO, DKNG, DraftKings, Bank of America, etc., etc. And the reason why is because you're not going to be able to buy a substantial contract, a contract that's actually worth your time with a good amount expiration, if you're thinking about trading a stock like Apple, a stock like Tesla. You're just not going to be able to buy that kind of a contract with only $50 on your account. So that's why it's so critical to identify 10 to 12 stocks that are smaller cap here, that the contracts trade for a fair price, a price that we can actually afford to buy and profit from in the short run here. So you can see my kind of cheat sheet here of the stocks that I really like that have a lot of intraday movements. They have a lot of volatility and a lot of volume when they do move. And that's why I'm watching these specific ones. Now, American Airlines and Caribbean Cruise are my least favorite of the bunch. However, I'll still keep them in because I know they can have some great swing trades, and especially multi-day swing trades, which I'm hoping to do a few as this challenge kind of progresses. Now, what I'm doing here on Twitter is, like I said, I caught them when they were around the 45.60, and I kind of saw these bars moving here, and I thought to myself, Well, maybe there's some kind of a wedge being set up here as they are trading very strongly between the 44.88 and around the 45.91. So what I did was I set up these lines. These are the same lines that I set up in the morning. I haven't moved them at all. And you can see that as they got to the edge of the wedge here, they were becoming more and more smaller. The candles were becoming smaller. And what that kind of reflects is that the stock is consolidating for a big move. And one of the main things that I like to do is not only analyze the charts and find these technical analysis moments, but I also like to watch other indicators like RSI, volume, or MACD to kind of give me a stronger indication of whether or not this is a breakout moment. Now, since this was a smaller time frame trade, I've decided to use the volume to kind of tell me whether or not the trade was going to be able to springboard out from this position, or if maybe we were going to see some kind of a smaller run, maybe just a couple cents. However, you can see that I bought it. I bought the trade, or I bought the contract around the 45.90 range, and they went up all the way to 46.63. Now, I only held the contract till 46.40 because of the fact that I was seeing a lot of indecision here in the market, and I didn't want to get caught with a bad trade. Also, I was feeling a lot of pressure to maybe shift my bars to around this new range, and kind of this would honestly break the pattern. And for that reason, I wasn't too excited to wait on this trade, and I'd rather just close it out 12% profits than continue holding the trade and maybe risk losing everything that I had gained on the day. So like I said, I made this trade on Twitter, and now let me show you exactly what contract I bought for what reason. And guys, there's not really a lot of science to this. It's very, very simple. I like to tell people that you honestly shouldn't stress the little things here. Now, a lot of people like to look at theta, etc., all the other indicators that I just can't think of off the top of my head. But you can see here that just 2 hours ago, I bought the $55 call for 10.16. So that's around 2 weeks of time. That way you're not fighting against the clock for the weekly contracts, but you still aren't paying all that premium for maybe a monthly, or maybe even out further than a month. So if you know you're going to hold a contract for a short amount of time, you're going to want to decide how long of a period you want to buy, like how much time you want to buy on the contract. Now, for me, the ideal amount of time is 2 weeks plus, because then you're not really fighting against the clock in a very literal sense. However, you are still pressed for time, and it's going to force you to make a good decision on the trade, because you know that if this trade doesn't go successful in a short amount of time, you're going to be losing a lot of value to theta and to this time decay. So that's why I went with the $55 call for 10.16. And you can see that I bought it at 44 and sold it at 51, literally around 30 minutes after I bought it. So you can see that 8:41, and I sold it at 9:30. So that was like almost an hour, 50 minutes. So yeah, this is a very, very short swing, but I was able to make 12% on the trade. So that's an incredible swing for any day trader, intraday trader, etc., that is hoping to make money on a daily basis. So one of the main reasons why I held it so short was because I was already at my profit goal. Like I said, I'm only looking for 10% to the downside before I cut a contract. So I'm also looking for 10% to the upside also before I cut a contract. So that's going to be my basic range that I'm watching for before I can kind of reevaluate a position and see whether or not I want to leave the trade, hold it, or what I want to do if I want to continue buying more into the position. So that's why I was really looking at Twitter today. I thought they were an extremely good company because of the breakout they had, and I was really liking the way they were fitting into that wedge. And especially when they were finding this consolidation here, I knew that it was a time for the stock to break out. Even though I didn't see the volume I was hoping for, I did see this one green candle of volume, and that was what convinced me to buy the trade at $44, sold at 51. Like I said, this contract right now, or when it was all the way up at highs, we can see that we can check right now what the maximum value was on the contract. Like I said, what I do for these options, I went to 10.16, so that's around 2 to 3 weeks out, and I literally just bought the cheapest one because of the fact that this is a $50 account challenge. And you can see that the highest price on the contract today was 63 cents. So if I was willing enough, if I had the the confidence to maybe hold this trade for a bit more. If there was confirmation in the market, then I would have been able to profit over 30% from this one trade. So this would have been an incredible trade to hold all the way to the top. But like I said, I'd rather be less risky and cut my trade early than potentially risk losing everything that I earned in the trade. So like I said, guys, it's all a mentality here. Half of the game is this technical analysis, and the other half, or maybe even 75%, is your mentality and just knowing what to do when a dog chases a car, they catch the car and they don't know what to do. You want to make sure you know what to do when you do catch the car. You want to make sure you're an educated trader and you're making smart decisions here on a very, very consistent basis if you do want to be profitable in the long run. So this is just going to be my opening video, one trade where I was able to profit. This will probably be a weekly update series, so I'll look to make my next update maybe this Friday or maybe even next Wednesday, halfway through the week. So we'll just see how that progresses. As far as trades I can make, I can only really make 3 day trades in a 5-day period, as this is a small account challenge. So that's going to be one of the limiting factors here on this account. However, I think that it will be in our favor because it will force us to make more educated trades and better trades as an overall bonus. So as always, guys, don't forget to like and subscribe the video. Leave a lot of love. Let me know if you want to see the rest of this series. If you want me to continue it, leave me a little note in the comments below. This is all the other stocks that I'm watching at the moment. There's some bigger cap stocks, so obviously I can't trade them on this account. But maybe in the future, who knows, if this account does grow enough, we could see some bigger cap stocks here that maybe move more violently and move more in our favor. So just keep a close eye out on this series, guys. As always, like I said, don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.